Well, we knew it was an inevitable. We knew that going into the season that this game was going to be a tough one. And you know what? We're okay with it. And you know why? Let me tell you why. Over the last 2 seasons, me and Chico Noise have driven out to Kansas City to watch the Bills come into Arrowhead Stadium the last 2 years. And in both of those games, we have lost to the Buffalo Bills in Arrowhead Stadium. But more importantly, you know what we did after we lost to the Bills? That's right. We went on to win the Super Bowl. That's back-to-back years, baby. That's right. The Bills can beat us in the regular season. We don't care. It's when does it matter? It's in the playoffs. Does it matter if the playoffs are in Arrowhead? No, because we kicked their ass in Overland Park, or what is it? What? God damn, what is it called? I had it right here.
Overland Park. That's in Kansas.
No, it's not Overland Park. It's seriously, I had it right here. It's Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. It's Orchard Park. Overland Park is in Kansas City. Forgive me. I get a little craze when I'm talking about that.
Overland Park is not in Kansas City. It's in Kansas.
It's in Kansas.
My God,
but it's still part of Kansas City.
No, it isn't.
You can't tell them apart. You can't drive and be like, oh, we're leaving Overland Park, and we got about 10 minutes to go through nothing to get to Kansas City. No, it's all fucking together. Always amazed when I'm out there in Kansas City how you can just go from fucking Grandview to Kansas City to Overland Park to Excelsior Springs, and you never even know you've left the fucking city. But it is what it is. But yes, it is Orchard Park, and it is Highmark Stadium. It doesn't matter where we're at. We beat them in the playoffs when it matters, and that is exactly what's going to happen this year as we go for the three-peat, baby. Still 9-1. Fuck that. It's perfect, man. 9-1.
Hey,
Look,
we still have the best record. We still have the best record in the NFL, so I honestly think, or tied at least, but I think we had the best record because some other teams haven't had their bye yet.
Detroit Lions are 9-1. They haven't had their bye?
Nope, I don't think so. Oh, maybe they have. I don't know.
I think they have, but
they must have it because I think that
because I think it wasn't. Doesn't that make Buffalo? Yeah, it makes Buffalo 9-2 with them going into their bye week this upcoming weekend. So Detroit has had their bye.
I really think the first seed's gonna be Buffalo or Kansas City. At this point, I don't see in the AFC at least. Baltimore's struggling to win games. I think Buffalo and Kansas City are the most two complete teams, even with the injuries that both sides have. I see us competing for the first round bye. And we got to go back to Orchard Park for the playoffs. We'll be fine. I'd rather have it at Arrowhead again. Or, oddly enough, have some other team just knock them off before we even have to worry about them.
Right. Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. So, that's what I predict. And I also, at this point, I said it to a friend of mine who's a Detroit fan earlier in the season. I said it's going to be Detroit and Kansas City. It's just my gut feeling at this point.
Detroit's definitely proven themselves as a powerhouse team again this season. I know that they had a really good season last year, going into that NFC Championship, and actually, they didn't win the NFC, so San Francisco beat them to go to the Super Bowl. I wanted Detroit to win. I wanted it to be a bookend season for us. We started our regular season, lifting the banner and playing Detroit, and then Detroit beating us by 1 point. And that's what I wanted more than anything was to play Detroit in the Super Bowl last year and just have that bookend, win or lose in the Super
And
Bowl, we have our shot at redemption over that first game.
yeah, and also, I want it for the Detroit fans, kind of like the Kansas City fans, they've been, gosh, I can't remember the last time they made it to the Super Bowl. I know it's been a minute.
Right.
I'll Google it here while you go into the next segment, but um, I'm one of those. I'm a fan of the game, people. Believe it or not, yeah, I'm a Chiefs fan, but I really love the game itself. And even if the Chiefs, for some godforsaken reason, don't make it, I still want Detroit to make it to the Super Bowl because
If
they
De-
deserve it. They
if
deserve it to
Detroit
get there.
if De- Absolutely,
Oh
but if Detroit
snap!
goes and Kansas City
Oh,
doesn't,
oh.
I will definitely be rooting for Detroit. What
So let
what
me
is
tell you
like Karen to
this.
show your boobs or something?
No, I stand highly corrected.
They've
Detroit
never been to
has
the Super
yet.
Bowl.
They have yet to go to a Super Bowl. They're one of the oldest franchises, founded in 1930. Yet they have zero Super Bowl appearances, and arguably the worst preseason or postseason resume in league history. So,
Oh wow.
um, yeah, yeah. If the Chiefs don't make it, I don't know. I have to see who's on the AFC side first. But most likely, I could be rooting for Detroit should that occur.
Absolutely.
We don't
Absolutely.
anticipate that to occur because we're Chiefs fans and we're always optimistic. Um, I
Right.
think this year's team is better than last year's team, even with the injuries. So unless we have just one of those crap ass games, in the playoffs, which you know
Right.
we we've started out slow in quite a few games, and then second half came back and won. And true Chiefs, you know, we don't play until we're 10 points behind, it seems. Then they're like, you know what? All right, we spotted them. We gave them a chance. Now turn on the burners. So it's weird how they just like to play from behind. I don't get it. But if it works for them, it works
It,
for them, right?
I say it gives them the juice, man. It gives them that fire that they need to get lit under their asses sometimes. Like, hey, we're down by 10, we're down by 24. We got to get back in this game,
Yeah.
and boom, 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 it just happens, and it's always interesting. But uh, I still, minus Trent McDuffie, I still have some issues with our secondary. Even McDuffie blew a big one for a touchdown. It was like, where were you
Yeah.
at, buddy? I mean, what's going on? But Najee Johnson, it's his time. It's his time to set. We need to bring somebody else into that spot that can handle
Yeah.
it. Because I'm not a believer in Najee Johnson as much as I want to be. He just
Give them
seems like
time.
a weak link to me.
Just give them a little bit more
It's terrible.
time. I think it'll be all right.
I've give I've given him weeks now. He needs to get his shit
Uh,
together. I ain't got time for this.
and
I ain't got time for this.
speaking of folks like that, we did sign a receiver off the New England practice squad that was a second round pick, I believe. That's
Yes,
kind of
I read
interesting.
something briefly on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
Do you remember his
interesting.
name?
I don't remember the name. I can look it up. But I find that interesting. It's like, you know, obviously Brett Veach has seen something. Otherwise they wouldn't go after a guy. This late in the season.
Right.
Um, um, so I don't know what role is he gonna play. But uh, his name is Tyquan Thornton, a 2022
Okay.
second round pick, waived by the Patriots after a brief stint. Chiefs, according to this article on, oddly enough, I don't even know why this is, the Times of India, of all places, was the first hit on this. Um, uh,
Okay.
but it says the Chiefs are in need of receiver help, saw an opportunity for his speed and potential for their roster. So I mean, obviously, they're not going to sign someone they're not going to use, but I think he's on the practice squad probably for a week or two to get used to the system, maybe to get, more acclimated, maybe in shape. I don't know, but I believe he'll be active in a few weeks. That's just my opinion.
I look forward to it. I seen that. Was it Uche?
Yeah.
Made his debut this last week. Was in for a few defensive runs. I mean, I don't know that he really did too much, but I mean, still once again getting into the swing of it. Who
And
else?
the two-headed monster.
D-Hop. What did
D-Hop?
D-Hop didn't.
He made some good
I'm trying to
catches,
look.
some decent catches on hard balls.
Right on.
I was kind of disappointed that they started getting the ball out to, gosh, bless America.
Worthy?
God, yeah, thank you. But it
Yep.
seems like when he fumbled or whatever, they pulled the reins back. Something happened, and
Right.
like, okay, we're done with this experiment. No, man, he was rocking it, and all of a sudden they changed the game plan. Don't know why. Obviously we're not coaching. We don't know why, but I thought he did well on his first, I think, 3 or 4 catches, and then fumbled the ball, if I recall.
I don't remember the fumble. I'd have to go back. I'm sure I've got it written in my notes if that's the case. But he went 4 for 61 yards, which about averaged about 15.3 and 1 tutty. I mean, 4 for 5. I mean, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, but I don't know why they stopped. I don't get it.
There's a lot of things in this game that I don't understand. I mean,
you
like
can't
I said,
double team. You can't double team Kelsey. You can't double Kelsey. You can't double team Kelsey, Juju, and Xavier Worthy. It's impossible.
right?
Can't do
And
it.
Hopkins.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Hopkins. Yeah, I mean that's 8 people on your defense. Not going to happen. But I don't know why he stopped doing it. But I am, like most other Chiefs fans, looking forward to. I know it's a little early to say this next week, but um, you know, uh, we're going to have a two-headed running attack. Right? I think Pacheco's coming back next week, is what I heard.
I have not heard if it's for sure yet. I know he's been practicing. He's been on the practice field. I know that there was 30-day window for him to practice or something like that. 90-day window. I can't remember what it was, but for him to be back on the practice squad and see how he's doing. I don't want to push it too much. I mean, we got Kareem. Kareem is he's been killing it. This wasn't his better week at 14 carries for 60 yards, but still 14 carries at 60 yards in Kansas City is a lot of yards for a running game. When's the last time you've seen this much push on a running game? Something else they kind of pulled back away from a little bit in the second quarter, starting the second quarter. They didn't run as much.
Right.
Once again, though, that Buffalo defense was pretty stout right up the middle. Why we keep running up the middle when they're stopping us at 1-2 yards, I don't no fucking idea. But why we're not doing sweep outs and pitch outs and stuff like that to kind of open that up a little bit, I don't know. Whether it's the fact that our wide receivers don't know how to block or get caught holding and doing stupid shit like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a coach. I'm not there. I'm just a guy that's sitting here on his fucking couch screaming at his TV going, how in the fuck do you let Josh Allen scramble for 30 yards and a touchdown? Only thing in that game that broke my fucking heart. Broke my heart.
Yeah, at first.
Is they let him scramble for 30 yards.
My first inclination was there was less than 2 minutes on the clock. They just let him go.
They're trying to get it so they can get the ball back and the whole 9 yards
that's
there.
just my assumption based on the lackluster of tackling on that play. Some teams do that. Hey, just let them in. So that's just a guess. And our kicker, our punter, whatever. He did good for us. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but every extra point went over the damn netting. So Bucker should be back in 3 weeks, so
Right.
that's another bonus. So, hey, Jeremy, I'll be right back
Spencer
if you want to
Schrader.
continue.
Spencer Schrader was the guy they picked up. Rumor has it that he passed up a long-term contract with the Jets to come to Kansas City for these 4 weeks. I mean, that's all he's planning on being there. Let's get into the game today, or the game that was on Sunday. Kickoff time at 4:25 Eastern. That's of course 3:25 for the Chief. It looked like the Bills won the coin toss and deferred, giving Kansas City the ball first. I do believe that the first play was a nice roundabout for about 7 yards to Worthy. Pitch out, or what do they call it? A jet sweep, I think is what they call it. Picked up 7 yards. I'm like, okay, this thing's going to get rolling right away. The second play of the game was a Pat Mahomes INT.
Sometimes
Guys,
he can do too much, but sometimes he does too much. Brett Favre did it. Other quarterbacks have done it. Ben Roethlisberger. You take those chances, and I'll say 70% of the time it works. 10%, 20% incomplete, and 10% is a turnover. So I'll still roll with those odds with Mahomes. It happens.
Listen, Mahomes is a miracle worker in the end. When it comes down to it, he gets things done. You just don't want to see it on the second play of the game. It's like, oh my God, it's very disheartening to see Pat throw an interception on the second play of the game. But
I have a question, Jeremy.
Yeah, what's that?
If you had to take a chance that it gets intercepted on the first play or second play, or second to last play of the game to win the game, which one would you want? I'll take.
You want to get it over early. I see how you are.
Yep. I'll be honest. I'd rather see a turnover in the first and second quarter versus turnovers in the third and fourth, because we have time to overcome that, and we did. We did come back. But go ahead. Sorry.
Bills drive down the field in the next series for them, in that first series for them, for a touchdown by Cook, leaving it with a missed PAT, which Bass is usually pretty clutch, and boy, I can't believe he smoked that one left, I think. But Bills go up 6-0.
So Jeremy,
were you hexing him? Yeah.
No. I was thinking back, all the Bills fans are like, not again, God damn it. Wide right. Or, I could just see the poor Bills fans, in the watching the game or whatever, just cursing up a storm, That's what I got out of that play. It was a miss, PAT, and it happens, but man, the poor guy.
It does. Does. Yeah. Yeah, he's not clutching point after, that's for sure. Chiefs go 3-0 in the next series with 8:46 to go in the first. But the Chiefs hold the Bills defense, the Chiefs defense holds the Bills to a punt. Wow, these are my notes. God damn, they're so good. The Chiefs start their next drive with a big catch by D-Hop and another giant catch by Worthy. Casey ends the first quarter, but comes back with a Worthy amazing catch for a touchdown, giving the Chiefs a 7-6 lead in this early on in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a side note that goes with that Worthy touchdown. If you get a chance to go back and look at that, like I said, it's 14:53 to go in the second quarter. A nice rollout by Mahomes, had a nice touch the ball to Worthy, and the ref is standing right there staring at him, and it's like he had to get a fucking note from his mother to call it a touchdown, because it was probably a good 7, 8 seconds after he caught the ball and was like all fired up that the referee, who was standing 5 feet from him, fucking raised his arm for a touchdown. It's like he had to make sure that he had to check with Daddy. Daddy, is it okay? Is it okay to call it? Because I know that we got paid to fucking be a Bills referee team today. So is it okay? Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and fucking call it. I just stood there and I stared at him and I'm like, it's a touchdown, dude. Are you going to fucking signal it? And it was probably a good 10 seconds before he fucking finally raised his hand. And I was like,
Yeah, well,
what is going on?
I'm suspect of most of the referees this season. So, there's so many egregious things that they're missing. And I'm not talking just Chiefs games. There was a huge face mask. I can't remember which game it was. It might have been the Bills game for all I know. That the guy's head was ripped worse than the Ravens quarterback or whoever the hell that was in the end zone. No, Minnesota quarterback. And the ref is standing right there. And the same thing where this other running back was running, and his head just like, that doesn't happen. And the ref's right there. I mean, how are you missing the clear and obvious? And even the announcer of that game, he's like, I'm up in the booth on the third level of the stadium, and I saw it. So
that was the Chiefs game. That was the running back for Buffalo. Chris Jones got a hold of that face mask, and
that's right. Yeah. And I said that should have been a 15-yard penalty, but they didn't call it. And I watch so much football, I get the games mixed up, and and I call penalties. I get it. I call penalties on our team, so that should have been roughing the passer. It should have been this. It should have been that. But yeah, the announcer cracked me up though. I could see it up from the booth.
Bills drive and score with 10:08 to go. Something about an out. I thought that was what. But there was what I thought was an out catch by Cooper. I don't even remember what that fucking means, but drive-ins with Allen's INT is 7:25 to go. And that was on a 4th down. So yeah, I'm piecing this back together. I write notes while I'm watching the game. And, not every play is worth writing down, that's for sure. A run for 3 yards is not worth writing down.
Come on.
But, the Bills were driving again, and, they went for it on 4th down, and Allen throws that INT. But Kansas City turns it around. 2:51 to go, making a touchdown to Noah Gray, the tight end, Kansas City. Giving us a score of 13-14 Chiefs.
Yeah, he's starting to get a lot more play calls, we'll say, where they're calling his number more, which is kind of nice to see based on our receiving core, number one, and number two, Kelsey's not going to be with us, another 10 years. So
absolutely.
This might be the start of them grooming him a little bit.
I guess the question is, let me look at this real quick. Let me punch up Noah Gray. He was drafted in 2021, 5th round. So what is he, this is his 3rd year? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, as long as he stays healthy and I mean, he's going to be around there for a long time, and we take care of him. If we take care of him,
yeah.
I mean, he's already proven to be, a really good asset to that offense. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Kelsey is still getting double teamed and is not being able to get open. And there's a couple plays that Kelsey was a little suspect too, where he wasn't coming back to the ball. He just kind of planted himself. We'll talk about that interception here in a little bit, but. It just, Kelsey he had 2 receptions for 8 yards in this game. I mean, that's un-Kelsey-like. There was just no calls on his number whatsoever. I mean, he only had 4 targets.
He was being double teamed a lot too, so.
Yeah.
So that's why Noah Gray was open, there's.
Exactly. 2 minutes, 2-minute warning. Bills with a field goal, making it 16-14, and we get into the half from there. Third quarter, Bills get the ball first. They're 3-and-out. Chiefs also 3-and-out. And then we just pretty much, I wrote down end of third. Bills are driving. I mean, that. I was looking at the play-by-play, and it was just
not,
like punt, punt, punt.
Yeah,
it
was
just
not
was
an exciting third quarter, no, by any
not
stretch.
at all. Not at all. It was pretty much a defensive third quarter for the most part.
Yep.
Fourth quarter, Bills score a touchdown with 12:51 to go, giving them 23-14. And then we get a hot drive by Kansas City with another touchdown by Gray. Actually, side note, this is the first multiple touchdown game for Noah Gray in his career with Kansas City. Pat has his 30th 3-touchdown game, which now ties him with Joe Montana and Tony Romo. 33 touchdown games. And of course, Romo was in the booth. I have a couple comments about that when we finish up. Remind me. Bill score on their next drive by Allen. By Allen. Was that that final 30-yard scramble where he went in for a touchdown? We get the ball back, and Pat throws that INT, and the Bills just basically kneel it out. Chiefs lose. They're now 9-1. Chiefs lose 30-21 in Highmark Stadium. Listen, when Pat threw that INT, man, he was scrambling, but Kelsey just sat down. He just sat in his spot, and he was waiting for the ball to get there, which is un-Kelsey-like, in my opinion. I'm not 100% sure what was going on there, but it caused an interception. Maybe he'll say something about it on. Maybe he has said something about it on New Heights yesterday. I don't know, but I'm sure I'll be listening.
So interesting
for a while.
factoid,
I get
Jeremy.
tired of Jason Kelsey yelling at the fucking. Do what? But
it's an interesting factoid. Travis Kelsey, what was his main position in high school?
He was a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was just making sure. I was checking. Spot check.
He was a quarterback until
his freshman year.
Let me hold on. Was it? I thought it was sophomore. I thought he gave it up in the sophomore year. I thought he'd come in. And was just kind of a backup.
He still took snaps as a freshman, but I don't know. After that, he switched, and then after that, he smoked a little pot and got himself in trouble. So
yeah, he definitely got himself in trouble. Lost some time. But once again, Jason Kelsey comes to the rescue, stands up for him, and he's able to come back the next year and play. Travis is not. He's not a saint. No, never once said he was. But yeah,
don't throw rocks
he
at
had
a
some
glass
issues.
house, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why are you? I'm a saint. I don't know what you're talking about. Side note, I used to like Tony Romo. Do what?
I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. I said there's a song about that.
I'm a sinner. Yeah, there is. I can't remember who it is right at the top of my head. Side note, though, I used to like Tony Romo until I have to listen to him call Chiefs games, where he always seems to side with whoever the Chiefs are playing. It's like he brings his own knee pads because he's going to be sucking somebody off after the game. I don't understand. I mean, like I said, I liked Tony Romo when he first started. He was very knowledgeable, and I enjoyed listening to him. But man, as he's progressed, he's become quite arrogant and quite hard to really deal with. Your microphone's off. Your camera's off.
I hit the wrong button. Karen was talking to the kids, so I put it on mute, but I hit the cam button first.
Damn that, Karen. Stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there you go. Chiefs lose. We're now 9-1. Like I said, we're okay with that because it is what it is. I mean, we were prepared to lose to the Bills in this game. I mean, it was inevitable. Nobody's going to have a perfect season. There's too many games. There's too many injuries. You have too many good teams in the AFC. I mean, we talked about this. Kansas City may be still on top, but Pittsburgh's coming up quick. The Chargers are starting to have a turnaround and starting to look good. Buffalo's in there. You never, ever, ever count out Baltimore. I mean, they got too many weapons and too much talent to call them. I mean, I know they're having some issues winning some games, but I mean, who doesn't from season to season? So, a lot of great teams in the AFC. So you never know what's going to happen. I don't give a shit whether we're at home or on the road. We're gonna be winning come playoff time because that's what we do. But next week, you got next week 10-1. That's right. Next week we take on the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, they are the dumpster fire of the fucking NFL right now.
Yeah, didn't they get beat by Detroit last weekend? Wasn't Detroit beat them 52 or 54? To 6 or something?
No, Detroit beat Jacksonville 52-6. Yeah. I'm not sure. Let me scan through this real quick. Did Carolina play or were they on the bye week last week? Because I don't remember hearing their names being called at all. So I don't see the score for Carolina. I'm looking rather quickly though too, so forgive me.
You can move on. I'll find out.
Yeah. So we are taking on Carolina next week. We are on the road again. Are we on the road again?
They did have a bye, by the way. Okay. The week before they played New York, November 10th, and yes, we are on the road.
Okay. I thought we were, but I wasn't 100% sure.
It is a noon game, Central Standard Time, people.
That's 1 o'clock for all you real people who are in Eastern Time. The real deal.
Hey, let me drive 10 minutes, Jeremy.
And you'll be back in Eastern, yeah. See, if you just would have bought a house 10 minutes closer, you'd have been fine.
I couldn't find one, and we did look closer, a little further down the road, but just nothing that caught our eye. So, and for all of you
guys are happy, right?
Hey, and for all of you that are listening, I am a real estate broker. If you're looking for a home, I can make a commercial right here, Jeremy.
There you go. There you go. You can Indiana Chiefs Fan Podcast at gmail.com, and I'll send you the information that you need to get a hold of the Chief. So you can buy, sell, or trade your house. He can hook you up.
Yes, I can.
Is there anything else we need to go over in this game? I mean,
I think we came out of the game clean with no injuries. I believe. I think that's key. And as we mentioned before, I believe Pacheco will be playing week 12. That's going to give us, we know Kareem Hunt can catch. He's a good pass catcher.
Yep.
They don't really use Pacheco as much as they would Kareem Hunt. So I could see them both in the backfield and potentially, motioning Kareem Hunt out and using him as another decoy or an option to throw the pass to. So above and beyond just rushing, the ball. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. This is, okay, so I know who's not looking forward to this. Number one, any team that we play. And number two, fantasy owners that own Kareem Hunt or Pacheco, because who's going to get the yards, who's going to get the touchdowns, right? I don't care because I don't play fantasy. I bet real money on real statistics. But I see us improving significantly in that regard on what does the defense do when you have those two types of runners on the field at the same time or alternating back and forth so one's fresh, whatever way Reed sees to do it. That's what I'm looking forward to going into this game with the Panthers. Granted, we know the Panthers aren't that good, so when are we really going to see this show up? It's probably going to be the next few games after we, once we get past the Panthers. We're back to play the Raiders, which again, I think they're a dumpster fire. But then after that is the Chargers. So
Right.
I really look forward to seeing what the Chargers do because they got a decent defense. They're like you said, they're getting better as a team. Um, I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's just my gut feeling. I could be wrong. One of the teams in the AFC West will probably make the playoffs, but I would probably tip my hat more towards Denver at this point. Just a gut feeling. But we'll see. That's what I look forward to, Jeremy, the most.
Let me take a quick peek at let me see if I can find. Yeah, here we go. Listen, this weekend, they're hosting the Ravens, and then they go to the Falcons, and then they're at the Chiefs, and then they've got the Buccaneers in Tampa. They go to Denver, and they kind of finish their season out with the Patriots and the Raiders. So I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 possible wins, and the other ones, could go either way. The Ravens, Broncos. I mean, those two could go either way. Broncos are looking pretty smug right now. So the Chargers are well coached. As much as I do not like their head coach, I don't like him. I think he's arrogant, and I just don't care much for him. They are well coached. He is a good coach, and he is going to do what they need to do to win. And Justin is an amazing quarterback. I mean, he's looking at 13 touchdowns at about 2,200 yards on the season so far. So he's a good quarterback. And he's a smart quarterback, and he's a tough motherfucker too. And you got to give it to him. So I mean, the Chargers are 7-3. They're second in the West, only followed by Denver at 6-5. Which Denver has already had their bye. Is that right or no? I don't even do the math there, people. I don't no idea.
So they have.
Okay. Followed up by the Raiders at 2-8. The Raiders are done. The Raiders season is over at this point. When you're 2-8 and going into a week 11, yeah, your fucking season's done. So I mean, they're just going to be playing for fucking draft picks now. So who's going to get the highest draft pick? And right now, it kind of looks like it's either going to be the Raiders or the Panthers. So you take your choice. Denver,
my gut
on
says,
the other hand,
Panthers are going to win that. By the way,
Denver's got the Raiders this weekend, and then the Browns. There's a couple wins right there for them. They have the Colts. The Colts, I don't even know what the fuck they talked about with the Colts. They just either they show up or they don't. So I mean, as far as Denver, their next 3 games should be W's. Then they play the Chargers, and they play the Bengals, and then they play the Chiefs. Yep. And the last game, is it going to come down to that last game of the season? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened, but but their schedule is soft at this point. As far as I'm concerned, Raiders, Browns, and Colts, they had to walk away with wins on that. Chargers going to be tough. Bengals, if they show the fuck up, I don't even know. I think the frosted hair has gotten to Burrow. I think it's rotted his brain because they're playing like shit. And then they play the Chiefs. And, where will we stand in that last week? Are we going to be ahead enough that we rest everybody, or is this going to be a deal breaker for where we go into the playoffs at? It'll be interesting. We're getting to that point now where we're looking at the playoff standings really, really close. But, if the Broncos don't come out of this at least with four wins, I'd be surprised out of the next 6 games. I'd be super surprised. Super surprised. Did I mention super surprised?
No, you didn't say that yet. Shit.
I didn't say that yet?
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
God damn it.
Things are breaking down over there.
Yes, they are.
Right, well,
I'll just plug it in, Jeremy.
Oh, he's running out of battery, folks. You would think he'd be more prepared for this than.
I had this sucker plugged in for over an hour today, only to realize, Jeremy, that
That you need to stop watching porn on it?
no, I got that out of the way early. No, just kidding. The damn,
That's the first thing I do in the morning.
yeah, hell yeah, that's coffee and porn. No, hey, there's all new podcast for us.
There
We
you go.
can
I
have
like
our
it.
coffee. But no, I had it plugged in, but the kids must have stumbled over it and unplugged the cable from the power supply.
Right
So,
on, right on.
because
That
usually this
happens.
thing charges in 45 minutes, so that's the only. Because I just went and plugged it in, I'm like, oh, well, there we go. Click, IT guy, dumbass. But yeah,
Anyway,
there's news out there. I would just that even Hollywood Brown could be back after Christmas potentially. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just speculation. Obviously Pacheco and Amenahue, is that the other guy
yeah,
who was on IR? Are both coming obviously
yeah.
off IR. So we should see them.
Both.
You know what? I'm going to go out and say that Pacheco won't play this week, and the reason is we're playing Carolina. There's no reason
Right.
to throw him in. I think we need him for the Chargers game. So I think the next week will be or week after, is when we'll see him and maybe Amenahue come back. So
Right on.
that's my
Well,
gut feeling.
It'll be the Raiders game on Black Friday.
Yeah, and see, that'll be a
So we got
warm-up
the
game
Panthers.
for him,
Yeah, yeah, and
right?
then back in it full throttle for the Chargers. I can see that. I can definitely
It's
see that.
like a
Let's
preseason
let
game when you
Kareem
play
do
the
his thing.
Raiders. Did you hear me? It's a preseason game for those guys.
I like to think that they can basically toast their hot dogs and their s'mores at the dumpster fire that is the
Oh my
Raiders.
That's crazy.
All right, Phil, are you ready?
Ah, shit. Go ahead.
Where are they now? Born March 10th, 1946. This American football defensive tackle in the American Football League, the AFL, and the National Football League, the NFL. Played his college at Arizona State University, where he was also a NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion. He played football professionally for the AFL for the Kansas City Chiefs from 68 to 69, and in the NFL for the Chiefs, the Houston Oilers, and the Detroit Lions. He was an AFL All-Star in 1969 and a six-time AFC NFC Pro Bowler. He grew up in Yuma, Arizona. He is the youngest of 13 kids, including he has a twin sister. He was a standout first in football and then in wrestling, winning Arizona high school wrestling state titles heavyweight in 63 and 64. His wrestling career in college, the Western Athletic Conference Championships and the 67 NCAA heavyweight championships. In football, under legendary Arizona State football coach Frank Kush, he played nose guard, including on the 1967 team that allowed opponents an average of only 79.8 yards per game. The Denver Broncos actually drafted him in the second round in 68. Considered him too small for a defensive line at 6'1", 265. After trying him at guard, they dealt him during training camp to the Chiefs in exchange for a fourth-round draft pick. He played for Kansas City for 7 seasons, appearing in 82 games, achieving 9 sacks in 73, with 9 quarterback takedowns and also receiving 5 fumbles during his career with the team. And then there's some stats on the Houston Oilers when he played there. I'm just looking for, let's see. inducted into the Arizona State Sports Hall of Fame in 1975. Was named the greatest athlete in the history of Arizona during the state centennial in 2006. He's also a member of the Kansas City Chiefs 25-year all-time team, and in March 2008 was inducted into the Chiefs Hall of Fame. He got diagnosed
this is
with
gonna be easy
stage.
for me, I think.
He got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he died 11 days later at the age of 75 on, I want to say, November 27th, 2021. Who is this player?
I thought I knew who it was, but I don't. I was gonna go with God damn it. I just lost his name too. Son of a mother.
This is so much fun. He's gotten one out of all seasons so far.
I know, and it's probably like you said, the guy that's right above me in the Ring of Honor.
Oh, it is
where I
absolutely straight above you.
I know,
in
and
the
I knew
Ring
that.
of Honor.
So I was gonna say Tim Grunard, but
you are wrong.
I know I'm wrong.
Is still alive, yeah.
No, I know, but I shook his hand. I was on the field the day that he went into the Ring of Honor. So
I was there with you. I was there at that game.
Yeah, and I shook his hand as I was waiting in the tunnel, and then my dad went to. He put his hand out. He didn't shake my dad's hand. Don't blame him. Anyway, who was above me in the damn Ring of Honor?
Who is above you in the Ring of Honor? You'll never forget this from now on.
Oh, I won't, because I'm going to turn around next game and take a damn picture of it and post it on the Indiana Chiefs Fans podcast page. And you know what? I totally forgot about it, Jeremy. When we talked about it last time, I was like, I know that son of a bitch is going to find out who that is in the Ring of Honor in section 206. So
I don't have to, because when I set in my section, you're caddy corner for me. Like we set cross field. Yeah. And I can and that's how I find where you guys are at, because my eyes are not that great. My eyes are not wonderful. And I use the binoculars. And I get on this guy's name and I go straight down.
All right, who is it?
And there you are. Curly Culp.
God.
CULP.
No. I was going to say Curly earlier. I was going to say Curly, and I was like, did we ever have a Curly on our team? That's so funny. I kid you not, I had Curly in my head, but I was like, no, I don't think he played for the Chiefs, but I'll be damned. There you go, folks.
He did.
See, when you sit in a certain section, you can't see the Ring of Honor unless you turn around and look up like this.
Yeah, in your section, you got to really look straight up.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's how I find where you guys are at.
Yeah, all right,
that's how I find where you guys are at. I look under there. But yeah,
I should have said that, because I was thinking Curly something, and I'll be damned. I would have got at least 1.5 right for the season, but damn it, I really did. I was thinking Curly, and I was like, was I thinking of a basketball player, or wasn't there a basketball player named Curly something that was good? But
yeah,
okay,
played for the Harlem Globetrotters. He played for the Globetrotters, I believe.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video of the guy? The Globetrotter gave him the ball, and he did more than the Globetrotter could do, and he was like, he was like, "What the?" Have you seen that video clip?
I think I have. Yeah, I think I have. It's a couple years old, right? I mean, it's not anything new, but
well, since we're talking about the Globetrotters, that kind of popped into my head.
Absolutely.
Well, good one, Jeremy.
Absolutely.
Good one for making sure I'm not looking over my shoulder at the game. So,
like you're focused on the game or something.
I'm like row 3. If I just look straight up, all you see is this little mesh of writing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see who it is, but I will take a picture of it next game and post it just for fun.
There you go. You heard it here. He's going to do it. So be on the lookout. All right, Chief, let's get out of here. What do you say?
I'm good. Let's roll. Let's go,
All right.
Chiefs.
All right. Yeah. Let's go for that 10-1. Let's go beat those Panthers. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, Indiana Chiefs fans. Glad you could make it out. Hope you're enjoying everything in the Seasons in Hell Sports Network, which include the Gridiron Kings and the Puck Yeah podcast. If you don't listen to them, go check them out. They're a lot of fun to listen to. Other than that, go check out Golden Mojo ENT for all of your Indiana Chiefs fans podcast merch. Memorabilia. I don't know. We don't have any memorabilia on there. Just merch. We are working on some new stuff, so the new stuff's coming soon. You never know what you might find on the Chiefs fan merch page. That's goldenmojoent.com. And don't forget to check out our affiliate sponsor, Perfectly Pick Games. You heard the ad at the beginning. All you got to do is go to perfectlypickgames.com, set up your order for your games, and put in Golden Mojo for 20% off. Go check it out. He will personally pick a game for you and your family. You cannot go wrong. All right, Chief, we're out of here. From our little slice of Chiefs Kingdom right here in the great state of Indiana, I just got 3 words for you, big dog. Are you ready? How about those Chiefs? Later.
Thank you for listening to the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Podbean, any of your favorite podcast sites. Be sure to watch us on YouTube. Just search for the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. Also, check us out on Facebook for any updates on the Chiefs and all of our weekly posts. You can find us at facebook.com/INChiefsFansPod. Finally, go check out our Golden Mojo Entertainment website at goldenmojoent.com. You can find information about your 3 favorite hosts and all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment family. Those podcasts include The Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, The United States of Paranormal, The Golden 80s Podcast, The Murdnerds, and A Court of Books and Booze. Thank you for tuning in, and how about those Chiefs?